for two, and two for three, and me for you, and you for me. Hello?
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Tea Time with Mrs. Washington. Bet y'all thought I was dead. Guess again. It's been a minute. It's been a little longer than a minute, I must confess. I've been busy doing a number of things. But none of those things will be discussed today. Today, what will be discussed is what I'm here to discuss, which is about my man. So, today's topic of conversation, now that I'm back in the saddle, as it were, is going to be a little mini about something called the male gaze. You may or may not have heard of it. If you haven't, feel free to familiarize yourself with it online. It is a concept that was brought around in the 70s by a feminist called, I believe her name is Laura Mulvey. And this concept that she created, it's generally used in the realm of cinematography and male directors. It's used in cinema. The concept is applied in cinema. And newspapers. It's basically the male visual narrative of what you are guided to see as the movie watcher, the spectator. There's a particular way that men look at things, particularly the way that men look at women. It's a feeling. It's the way that the camera is trained. It's the way that the camera moves. It's sort of voyeuristic, kind of a little peeping Tomish, because it's the way that men have been raised and the way that it's built into society for men to view women. It's one of those weird sort of look but don't look too hard, sort of taboo sort of things. And so this viewpoint is, I find, more obvious in movies by, for example, Roman Polanski, a billion other directors, but I'm thinking of the more classic ones. Anyways, it's a feeling. It's a feeling that women are very, very aware of. They feel it out in life and in the city, when they're walking down the street, when they're sitting in cafes, when they're wandering through bookstores, wherever there are men and there are women. Women tend to go about their business and do their thing, and generally men will be doing the same, but while women will go out of their way to not make eye contact generally with men, men are more inclined to watch women, to look at them, to not necessarily stalk them or follow them or anything like that, but it's just a thing that's ingrained in the hunt of the nature of the animal of man. And so women are hyper aware of that constantly with everything that we do. This all ties into some of the subtle changes that I have been noticing in my boyfriend. Since being on T, because now it's come up to past 4 months, something is changing in his energy. He was always very male to begin with, but there's something relating to or revolving around the concept of Laura Mulvey's The Male Gaze that I'm starting to take notice of, and it's an intangible thing. It's something that I sense, but it's not something that I can pinpoint, and it's because it's a change that's occurring within him on a maybe like a cellular level or energetically or something like that. He's just becoming more male on an energetic level, which the changes are so minute, but I obviously sense them. I can feel the difference. And it's not because I am aware of the fact that he's taking tea. I just am sensitive in that way. And I know that the change is different because he didn't really feel like this in the beginning when we first met and for the months that followed with us being together. The change is happening now, and it's slightly unnerving, a little uncomfortable, but not bad. Just different, which I have no problem with because I love him and he's my man. But I do find it interesting. And in turn, that is making me feel even more feminine because he's emitting even more masculinity just on an intangible level. So it's like the testosterone that he's taking is almost forcing more femininity out of me. It's not changing me, but I do feel like it's enhancing these more feminine aspects of myself that weren't necessarily so pronounced, and they're becoming more pronounced. And I'm starting to feel like he's becoming more of my protector, kind of. I mean, I know that he is already, but there's just something a little bit more animalistic about my man. A little bit. On a level that I can't articulate clearly, obviously. So, wanted to mention that. That's interesting. It's not something I have a problem with. It's something weird. But I like weird, and so it's all good. And that's the end of that. That's my thought for today. Happy tea time, everyone. I hope you have a fabulous Easter weekend. Maybe you're going to go flagellate yourself on the rocks and maybe crucify yourself like they're doing in the Philippines right now. That's something interesting that you could do for Easter weekend. Or, you know, maybe you could dress up, for example, like Caiaphas and Annas from Jesus Christ Superstar and hang around the churches tomorrow morning. That's also an option, which is what I plan on doing, for real. Or, you know, maybe you have plans on just eating a whole bunch of Easter eggs and trying to find an Easter egg that's shaped like Jesus. That would be an interesting thing to do also. Maybe you could make Easter eggs shaped like Jesus. So many possibilities. But anyways, that's the conclusion of my video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your life if you never see me again. But I do plan on being back. That's my plan, at least. Tune in next time for Tea Time with Mrs. Washington. I will be talking about upping the dosage of testosterone because we just had a little follow-up meeting with Mr. Endocrinologist. So we're going to talk about that. See ya. Perhaps would want to meet ya on the internet. Bye.
We can raise a family. A girl for you, a boy for me. Oh, can't you see how happy we could be?